we not the same. I told you.
Yes, yes, you are tuned right here to the Powerhouse Radio. And the voice 89.1 FM. So spread the word, tell a friend and a family member that we are here and spread the word, and spread the word. The Powerhouse Radio is on. Reasoning Thursday is on. So we just want to encourage each and every one to tell a friend and a friend and a friend because we have some hot topic today. Hot things going on today. All right. Hot, hot, hot. Hot is what we say. Hot. We like it when it's hot, hot, hot. Greetings, Mama Acid. How you doing, my sister?
And blessed. How about you, Lady D?
Man, I am doing fantabulously fabulous. And Queen, how are you doing, Queen? All right, that sounds good. This is Reasoning Thursdays with yours truly, Lady D, Mama Acid. And Queen joins in with us here and there whenever the spirit takes her. But we're with lots of information as well. Mama Acid is some big things going on. And Donna, greetings to you. Donna says, "Good evening, everyone. Greetings to you, Donna. Big up yourself." Um, uh, Acid, we're going to be muting back and forth, okay? Because I notice when we don't have on the mic, oh, Mama Acid, it got cut off there. But when we don't have on the mic, it seems to be a better thing. Numbers right here is 706-955-2001. That's 706-955-2001 is the number to get us in here, to get you to talk to us live in the studio here. So, Mama Acid,
Yep.
what is going on our reasoning? I know we have to close out, and Queen, we have to close out the boy whom destroyed his mom house. We have to close out the Tiffany Haddish. I think and I feel that the aliens topic is going to be open for quite some time. So we're not going to say necessary close it out, but we're going to leave that as close to the last of it because we have some hot reasoning that's going on. Some things has surfaced where it's coming out with Dr. a professor that has gotten some information, and Mama Acid brought it to my
But I want to
attention.
talk about Horace Chang first.
Yeah, wait a minute. We have that we're going to talk about where he's telling us about the melanated DNA, okay? Black DNA. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be reasoning as well on the Horace Chang and his statement that he made. We're going to reason on Trump and his brain power. We're definitely gonna be reasoning a little bit on that, and we wanted to close out. And I don't think that either is going to close out thoroughly until someone has been convicted or released or what have you. The Donna Lee. And we're just gonna take 5 minutes on all of the closeouts. Not even five, because we're gonna run through it. We want to just run through it. Okay. So Well, let's close out what we're closing out, and then we can hit the Horace Chang and starting with him. So what we're closing out with, the boy whom destroyed his mom's house. Okay. That young man right there. He does have he is intellectually disabled, mental situations, and the young man was 16, not 12. And it I received a video from one of the listeners whom advised that and the video showed where the mom was speaking, and she was saying that it was a friend of hers that videoed and put it out there unknowingly to her. And my saying to that is, with friends like that, you don't need no form of enemies. You know what I'm saying? With friends like that, you definitely don't need any enemies. That's it's a private situation for her, and it turned to be, you know, uh, uh, a scandal on the internet. So for the mama, a person such as myself working with the disabled, intellectually disabled or mental um individual, I definitely feel for you. And oh boy, I have stories, and I don't even want to start my stories. So we're gonna move on from that. The Tiffany Haddish. Did any of you want to make a comment, Mama Acid or Queen?
Definitely want to make a comment about that.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Acid.
Aries Spears. Aries is a poop emoji. Always has been, always will be. So he is pointless. Nobody's checking for him anyway. And the deal with Tiffany Haddish is these were her friends' kids. If this is how you treat your friends' kids, you are not a friend, because these kids are trying for the rest of their life. Now she feels a way because all of her bookings before this happened that were secure being canceled. I'm wondering, does that also include Girl to the movie? Because I'm almost at the point of I don't even know what question to ask. But my only question is, what does she think she do in order to fix this? You can't do these types of things to and and think that you could just pay your way out of it. It's just wrong. It's wrong to the community. It's wrong as a black woman, and it's just wrong as a person to treat anybody this way, especially a child.
I totally agree with you on that, Mama Acid. And I
And she
saw
has to live
something
with that,
today. I saw something today where she was saying that all of her gigs that she had, they've been canceled because of the backlash. So she is paying for
Yeah.
what she have done. Definitely.
I think one of the problems that we're having is that Tiffany Haddish popped up on the scene of a sudden, and everybody fell in love with her. Now we're getting to know who she is. That's part of the problem. We love too quickly. Maybe we need to learn more about them before we do start loving and allowing this type of an impact on us as a community.
I'm not sure if we want to continue or if we want to go straight from the telephone line with you calling in, but we could try it a little bit longer and see how much more you double up. But yeah, I mean, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, and
Yeah.
there's the same way as I said, with friends like that, you don't need no enemies. With friends like that, you don't need them around your children. Period.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Period. You don't need them around your children.
She surprised me. That whole thing surprised me because I didn't look at her in that way. I know she was kind of ghetto at times, but I didn't expect her to really be dealing with children that way, especially when she was promoting children. So
Yeah.
that's sad. It's really sad.
It's a real sad.
Hmm.
It's a real sad thing. And well, she's most definitely paying for it now. One way or the other. I know this was a topic that Mama Acid brought up in regards to the
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish because I didn't know anything about it until she advised me of it. And Mama Acid, was there anything else you wanted to say in regards to the Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah, and Aries Spears.
Aries Spears.
Um, Sometimes we, as a community, in terms of us being people who tend to try to love people, we love people too quickly. Maybe we need to back up and give some people some space so we can really see who they are before we open our arms to them so widely and allow them to come into our circle and inflict this kind of damage.
Yeah. Yes. Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Well,
All right.
the devil, I hate to say it, but the devil's been playing a lot of tricks on people lately. I'm serious. There's so much backlash, so much things happening, and so much backlash because of these things. Because people don't think before they act; they just act, and then after the consequences. Then they say, "Oh, if I'd known," uh, you know. And we really need to evaluate things like Lady said. We need to evaluate, and like Mama Ashley said, we need to evaluate people before we really get too close to them. And that was one of the conversation I had today with my ex-boss. She said she's isolating people and staying away from them. And I'm saying, well, how can you isolate people? But with this, I can see why people are feeling the way they're feeling.
Mhm.
Um, it's like I said, it's a really sad thing for the children,
Yes.
not for her,
Yes.
but for the children.
Yeah. Well, she will definitely
Queen,
be made to pay. Uh,
Lady D and Queen.
yeah.
I want to break in right there and ask a question because she said something that just triggered me.
Mhm.
Queen,
Yes.
what about the lady who owned the daycare? I think it was in Florida, and she caught her husband lurking around the daycare trying to abuse some kids, and she shot him.
Molestation is big in the child care industry. And don't think it is just male. Female do these things too. They touch these kids,
Mhm.
inappropriately. And some of these children, they can't tell you what is wrong or what is going on in the daycare. And even with my grandnieces and nephews and grandchildren going to the daycare center, I always try to teach them before they go in. And I said, parents, it's hard. I know it's hard out there, but make sure the child is talking and can talk to you and feel comfortable telling you what is going on. But this is something that's been going on for a very long time, Mama Ashley. These men, they have these husbands that's there touching these kids and they're covering it up. Private daycares are even more so than those daycares that are public, like the pre-K programs and the Head Start program. But these men are doing these things and behind closed door. And like
Well,
I
you
said, these children cannot explain what is going on. So it's
and
sad.
it's
Overall, it's really sad.
they
But
do it.
they need to be shot. I'm
They
sorry to
do it.
say it.
We they
Castrate
do
is
these
the word.
things, and it's spooky to think that they're doing these things in these facilities, these
Yes.
places where you leave your children all day, and when you
Okay,
with
okay, wait a minute. I
statements
got to cut you.
with
You know I'm going to. You know I'm going to Nia, don't you?
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
going to the Jacket Man and Nia.
Go ahead.
Mm.
Go
The
ahead,
Jacket
Acid.
Man had the nerve to talk about women when men go out and sleep with tons of women and even try to pretend like they never slept with you and tell all kinds of tales about how they don't know you. Well, Nia Long, one of our most beloved black actresses, she was all in love with this Nigerian football player slash coach. And he had to come out and admit he slept with the help. Okay, so Nia Long is about 40 years old. She's not a little kid, but this trauma has been visited upon her too. And as a woman, I'm going to say it, Queen. I'm going to say it, Lady D.
Go on,
I
sis.
think these jackets who are walking around here in these pants need to have a little bit more leash taken off of them because they shouldn't be able to get that close to us. My mother told me never let a puppy sit in your lap because if he licks your face, he will think that's where he's supposed to be always.
Well, if we're gonna get on that topic, that's true too, because I see children, young girls, sitting in these men laps, and these parents are aiding these men, these pedophiles. If you have your child sitting in a man's
Grooming.
lap, and not even the daddy really, but I can see the father, but sitting in these other men's lap, they get turned on. Come on now, this is a girl sitting in a man's lap. But these parents, they promote these things and they don't think of it that it can be detrimental to the child later on. And some of these children, they're so used to doing this that it's normal. It's like normalcy for them, to do this, not knowing that some of these men, these pedophiles, they're being turned on by it.
Okay,
It's sad
Queen,
to
stop
say
right
this.
there. Stop,
Yes,
Queen,
yes,
Queen.
yes.
Right there's where we want to go. Okay, Lady D, tell us about that story from the man who is talking about the jacket issue with women.
Well, a brethren of mine, an acquaintance of mine, know him through radio. He had something on his page where he was speaking of why men can have it reflected basically about why men can have children on outside and women accept it versus um, a woman having. I'm trying to pull it up because I don't want to say exactly the wrong thing. I want to make sure when I'm giving it correctly because I did advise him that I was definitely going to talk about it on the show, and I guess there was a picture that was sent to him. And the picture says, a real man would stand by his woman even when she gets impregnated by another man. So, with that saying, he says, well, funny how this seems like just a thought provoker, but it really is a serious thing. So, he says, if my woman comes with a child, someone else made a statement and said, if my woman comes with a child, can work. If she with baby, when we meet, can work. Still my choice. Don't make me not a real man. So now, then he puts now in capital letters, man and woman cheat different. Women cheat with their heart and man don't. So forgive me if I consider not to support my woman's love child. I will continue not being a real man. So my
Can I
thoughts
be
on
ugly and say, can
so
I say
my
something
thoughts
ugly right there
wait
at
a
that
minute.
point?
My go my thoughts on it was hmm this is something interesting for me to bring to the floor here because let's see, Donna, big yourself up. They put things in the formula and perform all sorts of act on the children in some of the day centers. That's what Donna Moody wrote there. And So with that statement, Acid, you said you want to say something, and then I'll go on and give my what I thought about the entire um correspondence. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to go back to 1837 in America during slavery. Did he think that he had a choice as to who he was going to breed with? Because, see, what he's talking about is selective breeding. He's talking about giving choices as to who should make the choice about life. Sex is not for recreation. And when men talk like that, they're saying that women don't have choices over what they do with their bodies. I want to say something that I want all the men who are listening to hear me say this. Okay? I'm not gonna shy and I'm not gonna be caustic. I'm gonna be honest. If you think that every woman who goes out and sleeps with a guy that she meets is doing it because of her heart, then you are sadly mistaken. I have news for you. There are 7 days in a week. And if a woman meets a different man every day who happens to make her interested in something and she decides she wants to check out that something, don't think that the man on Tuesday is going to have any reflection on what happened on Wednesday or Thursday, because on Friday it's still going to be somebody new. And if you were Monday, she long past you anyway, brother.
Listen, my thought on it is, and it's similar to what Asa said. There's even this rapper girl, Diamond or whatever her name is, and she blatantly said that she has been with over 2,000 men and women, and she just sleeps with who she want to sleep with because. But it the context of it went a little further for me, and not just that about sleeping for love, but the audacity of feeling that a man can cheat and bring a child into this relationship, and no one must feel, or and the woman basically needs to accept it. You know, to think that that thinking is right, and that makes you not based off of the text that was sent, based off of the post that was made. A real man will stand by his woman, so they prefer to not be a real man. So automatically, because your wife may have went out there, you may have done her wrong and made her feel away, and not that is right, not saying anything that is right, because and without even say a man do it, but it's not right. But they're in their feelings and they go out there, they have a drink, and my God, they made a mistake and went and slept with someone. And it so happened that they believe in life and they want to keep that child. And you all sit and you all discuss it. I mean, I don't see why you cannot accept that child, to say that it's her lover, you know. And so when a lot of these men are out there and they're sleeping around, they're not sleeping around with these women not just one time. They sleeping around with these women many of time, and a lot of them form relationships with these women, where they're going over to their house, they're having a good time. They form a feeling, because I'm quite sure if they go out on the road, go to a party, and they see that person that they've been having this intimate relationship with, or these several times of sleeping with, yeah, they're gonna feel a little way. And no man can call in here and tell me that they would not feel a way, that if they were with someone and they went and they slept several times with that person, that they don't have some type of feeling whatsoever. And you must have a feeling, because the bottom line is that you went back there. So therefore, that person jived you in a way that didn't, and then they get pregnant.
And this is prevalent in African culture, because it is permitted in some culture, African cultures, where it is okay for men to do this. They have their wives at home, and they have a outside woman, um, and that person, they see him quite often. They dine with him. They do things with them. You know what I mean? And it's okay. And when these children are produced, then some of the culture will accept that child because they have it stipulated that this is your responsibility, and if you can't take care of them, you stay home. But most of the cultures, it's a norm for them where they do this. They go out. So there's so many children out there that does not really have the biological father. You know what I mean? But because of the culture, these men have to accept that child. Women does do it too because they're trying to get back at men. And I don't think that's a good thing really. You have to, my mom always said, look before you leap. You have to think about what you're doing before you do it.
I just
Yes,
think the
sometimes.
nerve, I just think the nerve of these men to just feel like it is okay and that they're gonna speak for the entire men population that when they go out and they step out on their wives or their girlfriends, that they don't have feelings involved in this. I've watched so much of paternity court that within that self, it shows that
Mm-hmm.
out of 100, 90% of the man did
Yeah,
form a feeling for those women that they end up having a baby with. It's just that they weren't together, they was in
absolutely.
another relationship,
Yeah.
or whatever the situation is, but they still cared for in some way for that person. So should we as women start to look at it as it being a love child that you've had, and not just you went out there and you slept with someone and you've been fooling with this person for quite some time and got pregnant and got her pregnant? I mean,
But should it be accepted? You know what I mean?
well, that's what I'm saying. From
Should
from a woman should not be in
perspective.
accepting that, since if this is the
Yeah.
theory of men, especially that, oh, they will drop you as a woman who go out there and have a child, may it be for a little rendezvous, and don't think about let's working on the relationship. But then again, it makes you, with me
Majority
with me
women will
making
not
that
accept that.
statement, right there, why would you even want to be with the man that went out there and had a baby on you? And why would a man want to even be with you who went out there and had a baby on him? Acid?
I just want to say that what happened to Nia Long is wrong because Nia has been through a lot. One of the things I don't understand is this man thinking that, as a woman, Nia Long is different than other women and that she should just accept this treatment because she should just be happy that she has a man. So I want to tell a little short story about that whole thing.
Go ahead.
There was a man who called me and he said to me, I want to see you. And I said, what do you want to see me for? And he said, for the same thing that you would want me to see you for. And I said, are you driving the Brinks truck? He was angry. He was very angry. And the reason he was angry is because I said to him exactly how I felt rather than trying to be nice about his feelings and pretend like something he said to me, which was offensive, didn't bother me. And I'm not playing that game because once you play that game once, you have to continue playing the game every time. So when men learn to be honest with women, the way that women always have to be honest with men, maybe then we could start to see some equality in these conversations about relationships. But until then, men, don't get mad because I'm just going to say it. Quit hating the factory. You can't make it. You came out the factory. Why you hate the factory? You want to go back to the factory. Look, become a member of the fan club because you ain't never going to be alone. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just honest. Men's feelings don't matter that much to me. The truth matters more.
All right. That's it. All right, let's move on from that right there, because we just sailing through. These are just some little drop-ins where persons had where we said we'll just drop in. So let's get to some talking here now. Harris Chang, shoot to
Yeah.
kill. Queen and
Y'all
Mama
go ahead and take your
Acid.
first shot. I want the
Harris
last shot on that.
Chang, shoot. Harris
Okay.
Chang says shoot to kill. So
How
I
how
went. One
I
moment,
mean
Queen. One moment, Queen.
one leg.
One moment.
Yeah.
So with so with I'm trying to pull it up. Okay, here we go. So security. We're not gonna do the standby. I wanted to do the one where they had he was criticized. Okay. I want you all to hear specifically what he said. Okay. Alrighty. Come on. No. Okay, now this is not coming up.
Wait a minute.
Now
Just
why
like a
is that?
man.
I wanted I wanted for it. Okay, I think so. No, start session soon. Let's start in what session soon. Okay. Man, I'm telling you, no, this thing just messed up because I wanted to read exactly what he said, um, and then for you all to give your reasoning and on that to exactly what he said. Um, okay, let me see if I could put this in another way, and hopefully it will come back up. And hopefully it will come back up. But basically, like he said shoot to. I don't think he used. Did he use the exact word shoot to kill?
No, said shoot to put them down and they shouldn't get up. Um okay, let me
Doesn't that mean shoot to kill? That means shoot to kill, right?
well, in so many
Gosh,
words, that's what it means.
I'm not
I
getting
mean,
good signal down. I'm not getting good signal for some reason. It's raining, and I'm not getting some good signal right here right now. Cause I really want to read exactly. Let me try this next line here and to see if I can get it up. But yeah, we want to say word of what he said. You know what I'm saying? And because I've seen a lot of persons that are coming out defending him in some form of way, and I just want to know what they think about it that is right and what we think about it that is what you all think about it that is definitely wrong of what he said and how he or is it really wrong or is it how he said it is the problem? Acid or Queen? Is it what he
he
said
feels
Let
he
let
or
feels
Queen
is
go
that
it
before
or
he
is
me.
feels
it
that
is it what he
he
said
feels
or
that
is it how
there's a
he
sense
said it?
of fear. He feels that there's a sense of fear among the people, and he feels that these men that are committing these crimes and killing these folks out there, they're terrorists, and terrorism is hitting our people. So therefore, he thinks that you should shoot, let them drop dead, and that will solve the situation. That's what I'm getting from what he was saying. Um, this man also believe in hanging and all of that. He's a Chinese. I'm sorry to say it, but
Okay.
I know definitely he's not for the
Okay, here
black
we goes.
youth.
Here we goes, Queen. Before you
Okay.
go on. Continue. The cancel that. Okay, the Independent Commission of Investigation and the Human Rights Lobby Jamaica for Justice have criticized a statement made by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang that law enforcement officials should adopt a zero tolerance approach in defending themselves from armed thugs who confront them. What he says is anytime a man take up a gun after police, when him fire, he mustn't miss. And when him get hurt, him get hurt. Once him pull a gun on a police officer, he must be prepared to deal with it, Chang said at a ceremony in Westmoreland, the westernmost parish of the island, on Thursday. He said also he would prefer if the criminal does not then need medical care, since that would cost the state $10 million to save his life. Okay? That is what he says. He also came back now and he says he stands by what he is saying after all of the criticism that he's received. He says that a zero tolerance, okay, judicial killing my line for me. He said, Chang said his comment was made in the context of having just come from a graduation in Westmoreland, the westernmost parish of the island, where he said, I saw a batch of very bright, capable, and enthusiastic Jamaicans committed to law and order. I said if they are attacked, policemen come under attack by criminals, they should return fire. That is standard use of force policy anywhere in the world. If you come to under deadly attack, you are entitled to respond, Chang said. He said in a combat situation, the first right to life is that of the policeman, who is acting not only to protect himself, but the wider society. And I further indicate that I am entreating the commissioner of police to train them well. If they are not properly trained, they may get killed and other members of the community. That's my position, and that's what I said. And I don't expect anyone to consider that I am sending police officers out there and I will be counting and acting of negligence if I send police officer at criminals with firepower they don't have. Chang said the authorities are not allowed to provide the police with the type of firearm in the possession of criminals, noting the police have to operate with standard weapon, which is a part of their training. He reiterated that there is nothing to withdraw or to change, and that his statements were not meant to ask police officers to take unusual action. I don't think so. I think the training in the police force is adequate, strong, and is creating a force not only for good, but a highly disciplined operation. There are exceptions. We have over 13,000 men and women, and what you have is a strong police force with a few miscreants in there, which we are moving to get rid of, and we are committed to doing so, he added. So he stands by what he says, okay? And he's not changing anything. He says again, anytime a man take up a gun after police, when him fire, him mustn't miss. And when him get hurt, hurt. Once him pull a gun on a police officer, he must be prepared to deal with it. Okay? And he said, Dr. Charles, he also once again reiterated that it costs Jamaicans $10 million to save a life.
You know, and
Who
they're
want to
saying
take
that
that?
this
You
all
Queen, you want to
stems
take it
from
first?
this.
Go ahead, Queen. You want to take it first?
Yeah, they're saying that all of this stemmed from the remember the teacher, the 7 teachers that died within 7 days of each other. They died, and they're saying that he was sort of tired of all of this going on. It's not just them shooting the police officer, but they're saying that because they're killing innocent citizens, and that's why I think the people are rallying with him, because some folks are just tired of all of this killing that's going on out there, you know, unprovoked killing, because there's a lot of innocent people that are dying every day out there because of the gunmen. They're firing all these shots and they don't care who is around. Look at the one the other day with all these people that got shot up at the game, the football game. So people are just tired of all this shooting, and that's why they're siding with him. But I don't think what he says is right. And you can't just shoot somebody down like that and kill him like a dog. I don't agree with that, you know. I think they need to make these the penalties stiffer or you know, and that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Mama Acid.
That's my opinion.
Well, I got two things I want to throw at y'all.
Uh-huh.
One, do either of you know about Horace Chang's background in law enforcement?
No, go ahead. I know some
Because
of
he
it, but
doesn't
not
have
plenty.
one.
They said his cousin is from the Warlord, one of those gangs.
I know a little about Horace Chang. I don't know much about him, but yeah.
I did my little homework on him.
Okay.
I did it a long time ago because I started trying to figure out how do you pay him. I was trying to find out his form of currency.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to be real here. Please, anybody who is pro Horace Chang, you should hang up now because I'm about to tell every bit of his business. He is associated with warlords. He is guarded by private security 24 hours a day. He does associate with the Chinese and with the Chinese Chang who operate the gambling houses all over the island. I want to go further. He was one of the people who signed on the paperwork with P.J. Patterson to import all of these guns from America in the weed and seed deal. We haven't forgotten that. He also was one of the ones who took the first ride in the Black Hawk helicopters. He was right up there after Mr. Adams. Admiral Lewin, I looked into his background only to find out that Admiral Lewin actually had been in the Navy, okay? Now, many of us don't understand that Jamaica doesn't have a Navy, so how do we have an admiral, okay? How do you get an admiral and you don't have a Navy? What is he the admiral of? I'm just throwing rocks at every window I can find in Parliament. But I got this big one right here, and I got a slingshot. So I want to fling it fast and hard. I hope everybody is ready.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
When you want to ask who's in cahoots with the Chinese, do you have to ask twice?
Okay. Not just that, but the dirty cops too, because he didn't do much pertaining to Noel and the Donna Lee situation. You know, it's like he was in hiding for the whole incident. He didn't come out. He didn't say anything really significant pertaining to it. And they're questioning that too. You're gonna shoot that guy down, that gang person down. But what happened to the dirty cops? You're supporting them. Okay? And like they said,
so doesn't that tell us who he is? That says who he is.
Gang. Yeah.
You know, he doesn't respond to any of the questions from the community when people ask him, well, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? The people in Spanish Town tried to ask him what was going to happen. What was he going to do about the problems that were going on in Spanish Town and all the extortion? And he said, that belongs to the local police. You have to ask them. When they said the local police said they have to ask you because they don't have the resources, what do you think he said? Don't believe them. Go back to them and ask them. How do I know this? I'm keeping constant contact with people in Spanish Town about it because I want to see how it plays out because the bodies are piling up. So the question should be this. We should stop asking him anything other than where are all those missing bodies? Where are all the unresolved cases?
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. He's in question too. Right now, they're saying he's part of the 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 the, the mortuaries. He's
Okay.
supplying a lot of the money to build these
Right.
mortuaries.
It is
I mean, there is
alleged.
so
It
much
is
out there,
alleged. It
you
is
know,
alleged. Okay.
speculation, so much.
So we're gonna
Do
we're
we
gonna
forget that he used to be with the land trust and what he did when he was with the land trust before he came here? Did we forget that?
yes, we
He's
forgot
the one
that.
who sold off most of the island around the outside to prevent the people who own the island from being able to access it, which is against the Constitution. So why is he in office?
Well, that's the question. That's the question right there. Why is he in
Can we do
office?
an expose? Can we really talk about who he is
I'm
and
just
what his
always
record
wondered his
is?
purpose. Yeah, we with
Well, like we
someone.
said, the Chinese are running Jamaica anyway. The Chinese are running Jamaica. They determine what goes and what doesn't. They determine what comes in and what goes out. They determine who's in power and who is not. They have the money, and because they have the money, they have the power to do these things and to control
Guess what?
these
One thing they don't
politicians.
control, though, Queen. Guess what? The one thing is that they don't control. The one thing they do not control is policing on the island. They control their police force, but they
Cause
don't control
I
policing
got
on
ready
the
to
island.
say, to you, don't they have their own police force? Isn't that we had that
Yes, they
discussion
do.
couple of months back. Yeah.
They have their own police force because they don't respond to anything that JCF says. So my question is this: as he is head of JCF and JDF, why is he having conversations with them about having armed private guards in Jamaica when nobody else from any other country can bring a gun into Jamaica? It's illegal under the security law. I looked at the Security Act, and the Security Act has 3 sections to it. And one of the sections, it's called a security law. Under one of the sections in the Security Act, it talks about weapons and it talks about action. If you come to Jamaica with a gun or even a bullet or a knife, anything considered a weapon, you are supposed to be immediately deported back to your country, not the country of origin, because you might have came from a third country. And then also you're supposed to be banned from all CARICOM countries, and you're supposed to go to jail in your country for violating weapons laws for use on any public conveyance. Anytime you get on an airplane with a gun or even a bullet, that is illegal around the globe.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. You can't even
So
carry
these
the
Chinese
airboat.
coming in with all these weapons and all of their big time security, all of that is illegal. Because if one star happened to show up in Miami from Jamaica with their own bodyguard and that bodyguard got a gun, they are both going to jail. When they get to Miami, they have to hire local Miami. That in itself right there is part of the problem. But the real problem, who's running Jamaica? Is it
Who
the
is
cowards,
running Jamaica?
as they said, as they call people, or is it the crooks? Because in my estimation,
I think the crooks are winning.
I'm about to say it. It seemed to
But
me
you
like
know
it's the
what?
parliament.
I got ready to say correction. Because they're the one who is letting the crooks get away with everything because
The parliament.
they
Parliament, yeah.
because you can't tell me that they can't make better laws and do more to protect the citizens of Jamaica. Sharon says his last name said it all. Horace Chang.
But the fact that he's never been in the military and he's in charge of the security services for the island,
so we need
mistake.
so that needs to be addressed definitely with Andrew Holness. Isn't he the one that picks his cabinet?
Andrew Holness is a real estate agent. Why is he not a prime minister?
Well, you know what?
Andrew Holland
With
is
with with
he's getting
with
his
with
little
with it.
sidekick. He's
Even with that said, we were talking about visiting that where persons in the diaspora can run for prime minister. But we found out that they have to be a resident of Jamaica in order to run for
Right.
prime minister. So
You know
it can
why?
be any Tom, Dick, or Harry or Paulette that is trying that
No,
goes
you
in
know
and try to
why?
run. They don't have to. So what if he's a some persons would say, so what if he's a real estate person? If a doctor can run and a lawyer can run and a fireman can run and a actual normal citizen can get up and run, then why can't he run? No, and I'm stating that because you're speaking of real estate
Well,
with
I want to
Andrew.
say the reason for that, under the Constitution, every one out of one, okay? Many out of one. So when you get the Constitution saying that, do we look at the fact that the Constitution was written during the period of colonialism? It was written while Jamaica was still inhabited.
Okay.
It
So
hasn't been changed because there's been no independence. Jamaica has still
yeah.
got the queen as the figurehead. And if
That's
he is
the
someone who is in
yeah.
charge of real estate, I would think he would understand how to get that real estate back.
no,
But he's not
no.
interested because he's getting too much money on the sideline.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what the
not
problem
interested
is.
in that. He's not
That with
interested.
you know with
There's
most of
still,
those
there's still, but
politicians
there,
and most of them on that body there, that board, they are getting that extra money. Listen, I
there.
love Andre. I don't care what anybody say. I love Andre. But like he said, they have all this money in the Swiss account and all these money on the side they're getting,
Mhm.
and they're accumulating these money so that when they leave office they have that money. You see what I'm saying? So they don't care. They're getting their little cut.
Okay. I just think
They are
that there
getting,
ought to be, I think there ought to be better laws set in place as far as whom can run and whom can run for what position. Because as Mama Acid said, and as we have been saying a couple of months now, it doesn't make any sense that persons are in positions that they know nothing about. How are you, if I'm not a seamstress, how can I, you know, totally, well, I guess I have the people that work the legs, that work the machines, that know, but how can I direct them to tell them what kind of cut that I need, what type of stitch that I need, if I don't have any experience in that field? And for persons to say that when he said that he was a little frustrated, or although I didn't hear that he wrote that, he didn't say that, but persons are saying, well, maybe he was a little frustrated off of things that were occurring, and that's why he made that mark. Well, you're supposed to be the coolest head of the pack, and he should definitely know that that's a no statement. The way that, what you said, you can't tell them, well, yeah, you can't tell them to shoot and kill, you know what I mean, because there may be someone innocent that and we
Lady
know,
D, that's a commercial.
this.
Lady D,
Uh-huh.
Lady D, that is a commercial for the Chinese. They need more bodies.
Mhm.
They need more bodies
You
to
know,
do
we
what?
talking about this
They need more bodies to do what? Acid.
to be able to take all the innards out and sell them to the rich people who ruined all their innards.
Mhm.
Heart is way. I didn't realize a heart could cost you almost $250,000 now. Since COVID, the price on body parts on the body part place, look, on the dark web, they got body parts places where you can buy in auctions. You can bid on kidneys, livers, eyes, heart, skin, joints. And in India, there are doctors who have a direct line that if you have enough money, you go to them and say, hey, I need a new kidney. They say, okay, let's find out which one. Then they go and they contact the people and they say, this is how much it's going to cost. Of course, they throw in their little portion. But then if you really got the money and you want to live, you're going to pay for the kidney. Then you're going to leave and you're going to come back to America, and who's going to know the difference? The person who got the money and the person who lost the kidney.
Donna says politics is a joke worldwide. And Sharon says he was put in office by the Chinese to police the Jamaican people. The guns was bought in by the politicians to fight the opposition. Now the Jamaican citizens are feeling it. Donna says elected officials are pointless. The deep state government is displaying all the powers. And Donna said, yes, ma'am, Asid, they are organ brokers.
That's it. And we put it all together. And Jamaica already understands. We know what's going on. And Horace Chang is really mad because it's only so far you can go as a criminal. You know, there reaches an end of the line, and he's reaching the end of his usefulness. So right now he's trying to buy as many fortune cookies as he can in order to try to be able to get a new face on another planet. Because I honestly think he's trying to escape.
And 6 hours ago, he said he's not apologizing for what he said about shooting to kill.
Yeah.
That's his comment 6 hours ago, what he said.
Okay, so
because what he's trying to say, what
Elizabeth died?
What he's trying to say that he is saying is that if you have gunman and the gunman them have these high weapon artilleries, and the policeman really can't fight those artilleries. So when they get a shot, they need to take that shot. That's basically what he came back in rebuttal of, is exactly what I said is, you know, he said he was talking about the police, them coming under heavy fire. These gunmen and stuff have artilleries that, you know, the policemen do not have, and they need to protect themselves at all costs. Okay, I understand where you're gonna come in and say they need to protect themselves, but when you say shoot to kill, you're in every instance, that even instances that doesn't need such harsh, you know, you don't need to shoot to kill. You could have shoot in the leg and drop that person, you know what I mean, and still come out. But now you're giving that order. It's like an order that you're giving to say shoot and kill. So in every single instance, you're going to kill.
Look at that young man that got shot. He was visiting Jamaica, and they end up shooting him. That was mistaken identity. The boy didn't have nothing to do with anything that went on. He was not involved in that robbery or whatever took place.
Yeah,
and he ended up getting shot. So
it was
what?
a reckless statement. It was a reckless statement that he made.
Okay.
It is a very, very reckless statement that he made. And, you know, for the ones who are defending
stop right there.
him.
What about when Llewellyn said it? She said, we're going for the death penalty. I'm going to talk to the Privy Council, and we're going to seek the death penalty. That was less than 3 months ago. So tell me it's not a culture. It is a culture.
Well, if you're seeking death penalty for murderers, that's a process. Is a process where they go into the courts. But if you're talking about shooting, you're talking about,
they want to put it in people's minds. You got to understand that Jamaica politics does not play along normal lines. The politics is, I'm going to say something, and people are going to respond to it. They don't care what's going to happen in the end, that's how it is.
But people have been advocating for the return of the death.
No, they don't want the death penalty legally. They just want people to shoot each other.
Okay, well, if you want to say they're talking sideways and you know, putting it out there, people kill each other. But when I'm talking,
the other part of it. Let me throw the other part of it. The reason they doing it, like I said, they advertising for the Chinese. You think that I'm kidding? I am not kidding. There is no way Jamaica could have 3,000 missing bodies right now. I went back and tried to figure out approximately how many bodies have not been found in the past 2 years. In the past 3 years, it's more than 3,000 bodies for missing people that have
It's
not been
800,
found.
800 this year alone.
So we want to know, where are the bodies going, because they're not being buried. They are leaving Jamaica somehow. So I said last week that the aliens are taking over the bodies. Guess what? Maybe one of the aliens is Horse Chang. It sounds like it.
But then it's alleged that what they're doing is putting these bodies, taking these organs, putting these bodies inside of a coffin that already has somebody who paid for that funeral. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's alleged. That's what they've been doing. Now, the thing is that they're saying, how can you go dig up all these graves to check how many bodies are inside of these
Right.
coffins?
That's
I
why
made
they
that comment.
cannot do it that way, Queen. They can't do it because they wouldn't have enough bodies to be able to hide all these bodies.
Okay, we have a caller
When
on the
people
line.
casket,
We have a caller. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Uh,
it's Donna Moody.
Hey,
hey
Donna. Hey,
Donna,
Donna.
How you doing?
Hello.
We're good. Yourself?
Not too bad.
Good.
All
Yeah,
right.
so I was listening.
You have a comment?
Well, yeah, I do. Definitely, it's a worldwide thing where people is going missing, and that's what I was speaking of, and they're replacing them with these beings. I don't know who they are, but they look and they sound like us. So that's just something that is going. A lot of people don't even realize that it's not their family members or their friends anymore. It's just a few. It's just a few of us that really know this.
exactly. Tell Donna, speak on it, because I agree with you.
Yeah, that's what it is. This is a worldwide thing, and this is, you see, when it hits home, then you realize, when you just, when you hear the story, you can't really respond to it, or you can't really understand until it hits home. You have to
Okay,
look.
wait a
It
minute,
is
Donna.
not.
Stop right there. I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
something in. Lady D,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I know you want to go to the story, don't you? The 6 and the 9,
Yeah, go
because this
ahead.
is where it goes, doesn't it?
It kind of, you know what? When I was watching it that you sent to me, Queen, I sent it to you. I don't know if you were able to view it, but
No, I didn't get to do it.
when you sent it to me and I watched it, I kind of said, does this kind of leads into it? Does this mean, is this saying that melanated skin persons are the aliens, or is this saying that Caucasian individuals are the aliens?
Okay, Donna, I'm gonna tell you what the story said.
Go ahead.
All right, listeners, this is some big news. Some geneticists back in the 1970s did some experimentation, and it was proven and documented. And some doctors, who were some brothers by the name of the Robinsons, they actually got a copy of the research, because they disappeared the research, and soon thereafter they disappeared the Robinsons too. But we now know what it said. And it said, once they tested all the DNA for every group on the planet, they discovered that most of these groups had a certain number of DNA chains. So they tested the monkeys. The greatest ape had 4
Yeah, they
DNA
had
chains.
orangutans had 3 DNA series. They call it the DNA
Yes,
series. So the orangutan had
right,
3, the gorilla had 4 series, the chimpanzee had 5 series. So then they went and
right.
they started testing people all around the world. And
And
over in Europe, most of the Caucasians area, Japan, where maybe Japanese, Chinese, whatever it was, they were all tested saying that they had 6 series. So when they test the African Americans, they know they had 9 series. And what they base these series off, Acid, you could go into more details of it, is the geniusness of persons. That's what the series speak on. Correct, Acid?
They felt that the evolution of black people as a species was different than any other species
Oh yeah.
of
Oh
hominid
yeah.
on
Oh
the
yeah. That was
planet.
very interesting. That part was. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They also said that the resilience of black people was what kept them on the planet when other species faded out.
They said what happened is that
So
everyone was
we have the God DNA.
right. They said the all human form was based around in the Western areas. The works of like out of Kenya, Uganda, those are like kind of sort of the areas where our ancestors or life or men really started from. So what happened was they're saying that the Caucasian folks, they migrated over to Europe areas and such, which we've kind of heard that before, that they went into certain different areas, and that's why they're the color that there is. They don't have the melanations in them. So what they're kind of saying is that the people that stayed in these areas in Africa, they had fully developed, and the persons that left did not get to fully develop. So that is why they're having.
Wait, stop
Go
right
ahead.
there, Didi.
All righty, go
Stop
ahead.
right
Go
there.
ahead.
The proof is in when you get cut and you get a scar. The scar heals with melanation. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Right, right. That was one of the things. Yeah.
Remember a long time ago when we had this discussion, and I said to you guys about some of these Muslims and how they believe that the 5% and how they believe that these white folks, they were in the caves and then they started to merge out.
Right. That's what I
Remember
was
was telling y'all about that.
Yeah.
Now, that lady, I was telling you last night about this minister that came on the Two Strand gospel program last night. And that man make a lot of sense. And Donna, you came into my mind when he was talking. And like he was saying, you said there's at least 100 warlord right here in Georgia. And he went ahead to say some other things that was really high opening, and I listen to these programs because I want to get different opinions. And I thought about what you have been saying, and it's not. I don't think this is an alien thing. This is a man thing. Man, these men, they're getting these scientists and they're experimenting. I told you the other day I went on my porch for a minute and I started sneezing. My eyes started running. My nose was running. There are experimenting out there. And there's a lot of things that are being done that we are not aware of. That light I saw in the sky down there on Covington Highway, that is something real deep, okay? They are experimenting, and that's what's going on. I don't think it's alien. I think it's man. Man, they are the ones that are doing these things. They want the power to control, just like the devil when he was driven out because he wanted God's power. He wanted the power. That's what's going on with man, too. Okay, that's why they're building all these underground dome and underground caves. I mean, it's a lot going on out there. And I think it's man.
It is man. It's man, but man is in some other species. It is man, whether it's alien or ancient hominins, because that's what I'm pretty sure of. Okay, so
But
I know that for a fact. And
One
alien
moment,
means
Queen. One moment, Queen. We're gonna let
Okay.
Donna talk, and then we're gonna go to Mama Acid, and then come back to you, Queen. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing is that yes, it's ancient amongst us. That's why you see Mama Asid just mentioned the 18th, well, that's the 17th century, well, the 1800s. She was speaking about Juneteenth. That is why that became a holiday. They're amongst us. I have proof. I have dental record proof. Okay, so when I speak, I'm not just talking like, the average person might just read something. I have concrete evidence
So,
to
so,
show.
so, Donna, someone had asked me what happened to your family now. Are you still with them? Are you not with them?
I don't know. Sometimes I hear some of them is in the Bronx. Sometimes I hear they're in Jamaica. I don't know where we are, but I know that this is not my family.
No, the ones
Before
that
I
whom
moved to
you
this,
are around, the ones that you are saying is not your family. Are you in
Mhm.
contact with them? Are they living with you? The ones that you said
No,
are
yeah.
not
Well,
your children?
the person who says she's my daughter, she's living here. Everybody else is gone. I'm like the only person that's left in the whole entire house. This was a
So
family occupied.
how does it feel for you to be living with your daughter and you feel that that's not your daughter? Isn't
Well,
that
she's living downstairs and I'm upstairs. It's a two family house, possibly three. So I have my own area wherein she's downstairs on the lower level. But the thing is that it's a situation wherein that it could have been rectified a long time ago, but no one believed. Okay, so the thing is that when people who are seated in a position of action and is not doing what they're supposed to do, then their evil triumphs. So they pretty much took over. When they say to take over, you mentioned something about gorillas. This is what, hello?
yes, we're here.
Okay. This is why you hear them say G Unit and all sorts of things like that. We're mixed with other hominins. Okay, so it's not something really that you have to listen to the music. It's all in the music. Okay, so that's what I told them. If you want to, you cannot deny it. Okay, you cannot. You could even go and listen to Michael Jackson's Thriller. You will be able to resolve a lot of things that happen. This is dead people that are amongst us. Well, they, there's no death.
But
Okay, because right
I would
now,
say for instance, I understand what the person who's texting is saying. And
mhm,
for you to know that those are your children, your daughter is living there, you feel that she's an alien. How could you live in the same home as an alien? Do you not feel threatened? Do you not any, I mean, like, if I feel that that's not, personally speaking, if I feel that that is not my child, they can't stay there. I don't even want them
Lis-
around me
okay,
because
this
I'm
okay, this is
afraid of
something where
what they may or may not do.
I call law enforcement. Okay, I call law enforcement, and this person's been amongst me as my daughter. We've been living like mother and daughter. The thing is that my whole family, I looked at the photos and said, wow, it wasn't them from a long time ago. Okay, no one ever believed, but now everything is coming to light. Okay, so the thing is that it wasn't us a long time ago, from like in the 70s. And I remember Dick Gregory had made a statement saying that there was a nuclear balloon that escaped from a nuclear plant, and they said it disappeared. So the thing is that it's been a radiation experimentation. This is a government, whoever they are, if they overthrew the government, whatever they are, they're playing a position of power as a government. Okay, and they're doing an experimentation. All right. So the thing is that um, the Clinton Presidential Advisory Committee addressed this. There was a trial, but what they did, they used the O.J. Simpson case and overshadowed that.
And
Okay,
what was that
so the thing
trial?
is
And what
that
was that trial called? Let me look it up. What was that trial?
look it up. It's the Clinton's Presidential Advisory Committee trials about radiation
Mhm.
and look that up, and then you tell me what you get from that. And that OJ Simpson, because you see the people that are in position like the Bureau of Justice that disseminates information on crime, uses the media. They use the media to pretty much blind us from what is actually going on.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
all we always thought something to that. Mama Acid, do you have something to chime in on?
Well, I think what she said was kind of interesting because she's pointing us directly towards what the next part of the story was. This woman, Amy Wax.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm.
do you want to talk about the English woman last and Amy Wax first, or
Any
how you want to
order.
do it?
Any order you want to put it to.
Okay, so there's this woman named Amy Wax. She's a professor at Princeton University. She graduated from Yale. She is a lawyer and she's a well known eugenicist. She says black people are mad and that black people are angry and that we're jealous of white people. And that everything that happens to us is because we're mad. That every financial situation that we're in is because we're angry. She is absolutely out of her mind because the sociological viewpoint that she's taking directly points back to eugenics. She's saying black people aren't smart enough to be able to make a situation even. Well, if you had an even starting ground in every instance and every part of the formulation was equal, then there wouldn't be any point in even trying to figure and measure what this is all about. But this leads me right back into some of us got six strings and some of us got nine. Who's jealous? For real though? And she's on television and in classes in Princeton saying this, but she's not the only one. So let's hit that, and then we'll go to the next one.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Huh? He's talking.
As far as the Amy Wax, she needs to be waxed. And for so I don't listen to her about whom is jealous and whom is not jealous. And because we have absolutely nothing to be jealous or resentful of.
It's,
And if you want to watch a little
it's
bit of
not a
this, you could go to the name of that one with the Amy Wax was the Uncle Phil. Amy says Black Americans feel resentment.
what is it called?
It's to look at that. It's Uncle Phil, Phil. Amy Wax says Black Americans feel resentment, and also for the this is the series that we're talking about, and I think that is something that we need to really share on in regards to this DNA situation, is because it brought me, when I was watching it as well, it also brought me to thinking of the critical race theory, and the situation of them not wanting for us to teach our children our Black history and so on. So with watching it, it tells how intelligent and how smart we are. And once we're given the chance, and they pointed out certain things as to athletics, as to anything that we go into, and we fully put our minds into it and get our bodies working and get those DNAs inside of us working, we're unstoppable. So so holding back our melanated skin children is a way of holding of keeping us down. And not for me, I grasp that that is the reason for the entire critical race theory of them not wanting that to be taught for our young children, to be able to know how powerful they can be and to keep the oppressed mentality that is set up on them. So that is my theory as to this entire fight for the race theory. Because when I was reading certain other things, yeah, they're going to teach history, but they can't. But the teachers and in Georgia, one of the school system, which I had questions to, had to accept doing the race theory because we're in a democratic state. I mean, a Republican state, and they were cutting fundings for these schools. So although the board in DeKalb County was didn't want to approve not being able to do the critical race theory, then they would have lost funding. So they voted, and now it's active in the schools here, where certain things cannot be taught to our children, or it cannot reference something, which it with what they are putting out there brings us to the other one that Mama Acid was speaking of, the woman out of England, Hillary Fordwich, which was saying that, and I think that's where you're going, Acid, in regards to even reparations, where she's saying that Black people are not due reparations because Black people enslaved themselves. We had the kings and things and Black persons from different tribes that are the ones who captured these their own people, and they're the one who put them into slavery because they were out there capturing them. And then she also made a reference into saying that there were other persons, Caucasian persons, whom was whom life was in danger, or lost their lives carrying them. So maybe they are the ones who are really due reparations. It was a very deep, it wasn't even deep because they shouldn't have even had her on there. I think it was CNN Don Lemon that was interviewing that person, which it makes me believe that we will never, Black, melanated skin Black persons will never ever get reparations, because the thought of many and the thought of your own people is the one who put you into slavery. And this is what they're going to bring into the schools and teach the children. And with our children not having us telling them our part of it, a lot of them is going to believe this theory that Black persons are the one who enslaved themselves, and therefore there is no reparations. Look for hidden DNA discovery only. Dr. Edward Robinson is the one that has that going on. And racist CNN commentator, it's a British woman, Philip Scott's report on a British woman whom she's the one who said that. I wouldn't even look her up because I hate to give them views. And the other one, Uncle Phil, Amy Wax says Amy Wax is a lie, and the truth is Amy Wax is a lie, and the truth is what it says. Now this thing
But that's
came on
what
here. Yeah, but go ahead, Acid.
that's
I
what I
don't know
was
if I stray
saying
away
last
from what you
week.
were talking about, Mama Acid, but go ahead and complete.
Okay, so that all goes into the woman king. All right.
Yeah.
So here we have
Yeah.
these two white women who are supposed to be known experts in their area of psychology, law, and also certain types of history. And this is what they're espousing all over these platforms that develop these this whole new group of white supremacists that don't know anything at all about real history. They are so far behind everything. But they are about as bad as the Black people who don't know history either, who didn't know anything about the Dahomians, the Amazons. So they didn't know that all these black women were slaves. First thing, all of the Amazons, they were stolen from their families and put into this group, forced to be in it. They were forced to be in this army because they were slaves of the king. Then they went out as slaves and stole other black people and brought them and put them in those cages out there on the beach for these white people to come and select who they wanted and take them away for the rest of their life. You know, the very fact to me that this has been covered up proves that history is not being taught in public schools. I knew about it, but I didn't know about it from school. I knew about it because I had done research on the Dahomian slave issue and also about what happened with everything that happened with Lord Lugard, because this goes right back to Lord Lugard. Now, what I want to say is where my real problem is defined tells me who I am as a core African woman. I read the article about what Viola Davis said about why she took it. And then I read and watched a video of why Lupita
Didn't
Nyong'o
take
said
it. Yeah.
she wouldn't do it. She
Yeah.
said when they offered it to her, she wanted to throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they sent it to Viola Davis, and she is calling it her greatest triumph ever. She's expecting to get an Oscar for this. So I am so sure that this problem of 6 versus 9 strands of DNA has developed into a 7th strand, which is the swirl strand. The swirl strand is the one that wants to go backward. Okay? We've broken away, but it still wants to go backwards towards that 6 because it doesn't feel validated being a 9. So until we can find out why this happens, all of the science around studying what all these other people are saying and doing really is kind of wasted because we already understand why they hate us. That just understanding the genetics on it really made it clear to us to be able to understand why they wanted to keep it away from us. Because look how old we are, and we are finding this out, how long they have kept it secret. Okay? The very fact that the movie The Woman King comes out and a white British woman tries to blame Africans for the transatlantic slave trade, please tell me that this woman wasn't, her entrance onto Don Lemon's show was not a paid stunt, because I don't see, the look on Don Lemon's face is absolutely just the price.
And he
I
said
mean, you couldn't pay
nothing.
for it.
And he said nothing in defense. He said
It's
nothing
just,
in defense.
Did you look up the thing with the Presidential Advisory Committee? Did you get any information on that, or you gonna look it up
No, I'm going to look it up
after
after
the
the
show?
program. Yeah, I'm gonna look up
Okay,
the
okay.
Clinton
Yeah,
Presidential
well,
Advisory Committee on Radiation. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
yeah, because that's why Building 7, what is it called? Building 7, I think, yeah. The other building that went down besides the Twin Towers, and that was the CIA building. And
yeah,
beneath that building was the electrical substation. And
yeah,
this is what it is. We're in an abnormal awakening state. So it's a sound technique that they use. We're like the walking dead because it's just
yeah,
like our spirit. So we're under hypnosis. You
Okay,
notice
when
how
you
you
say
got up and
you know what, when you say certain things, when you say I have to say things that makes you go home. Because you know what? Where would they get something like the Matrix? Are you trying to say this is something similar to the Matrix, where they say some people is plugged in and some people is unplugged? And when you are plugged in, you're in this you're in this made believe world that everything is pretty and nice and beautiful. And then when you become unplugged, you're in these grids that is not pretty at all.
Listen, exact. This is what you have. Okay, I don't know, like if you noticed, but like we got up at a certain time. I remember when my father was in Mount Sinai in '96, and the doctor said to me, "What are you still doing awake? Everyone else is sleeping." And I said, "What?" I mean, she's talking to me, and I'm not the patient, and she's saying, "Your dad too." We try to sedate him, and he's still up. So I'm like, okay, I didn't really, I never forgot that she said that to me, but I couldn't make sense of it. But we were all sleeping. All people, the real people, all human beings were asleep. Okay? This was, you see the news, if you look at the news real good, when the World Trade Center comes, they say, oh my God, it's coming down. That World Trade Center was already down. That was just a movie. Okay? There's no people jumping out of no 90 something floor window and nonsense. Stupid. Okay? Makes no sense. So we jump through the window because that's
So
gonna support. I don't understand what that was supposed to do. Look at it. Look,
okay.
just look.
So
It's there. You can't erase it.
all right.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it's
And
there for
and
you to
we
look at the news reporters who covered 9/11.
and we need to look at
And this
we're
is
going to look at a lot of that, the 9/11 report and the
that's
Clinton
what it.
Presidential Advisory Committee. But with that said, with that, it doesn't it doesn't bring us back to, unless Mama asked it, if you see a form of connection in regards to the reparations and what the woman is saying and what the Lion King and all of that is putting
Oh yeah,
together. Go ahead.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay, Georgia is right in the middle of it. Herschel Walker hits Raphael Warnock with a race attack in a new ad. How does a black candidate attack another black candidate on race? First thing,
So are you saying
how
these?
does
Are you?
Herschel Walker attack anyone?
I'm just lost. I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get on track. So are we trying to say now that Herschel Walker is another person? That Herschel Walker?
Yeah.
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 Why you come to that conclusion? Because he talked about another race. That's the only way he
We've
feels he
heard him
can
talk
win.
about everything.
That's the only way
We
he
heard him
feels that
talk
he
about
can
the
win.
air, our good air, going over and China getting it.
So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. 6 DNAs and 9 DNA. I'm 6 series and 9 series. What does that say to you, Queen? Or you're not really sure on that? Let's go with it. If you're not
How
really
many?
sure
How
on
many?
it, if you're
How
not really
many
sure on
series
it,
are
go over
supposed?
to let's go over to Mama Acid, and then we can go to Donna. What what
Mhm.
what you what's your thought on it, Mama Acid?
I think Herschel Walker has 5.
No, but my question is,
He
since
doesn't
Donna,
have. He doesn't.
my
He doesn't
question
even
is,
have
since
rhythm.
Donna is on the, since Donna is on the not the realness of
That's what I'm saying.
certain
Herschel
persons.
Walker is not real. You can tell he doesn't even have rhythm.
So are we? So are we
He doesn't
saying
even have
He's
logic.
not a speaker. He's not a speaker. I mean,
he's a football
you
player,
He's
listen
not
to
a
and
him.
he
thinker
took
either.
he was a football player and he took lots of hits, and a lot of these football players, they talk slow, and they even had
Do you think they
um
believe that the air goes to China and we get China's bad air?
well, heck, if Donald Trump feels that he can just think about papers being declassified, and they are, then I mean,
That's
why not Herschel
exactly right.
Walker think about what he wants? Donald Trump says that he just he could just think of the papers being declassified, and they are declassified. Okay,
Classified.
so
That's
if
what
he says that, then what do you think about Herschel Walker? Maybe Herschel Walker is
I
is
think
white or
they the
Caucasian.
same.
I needed to
In
play
They're
this.
not the
mine,
same
both
people.
of them are they're on an, where are they at?
I needed to play
Are
this.
you not looking or seeing that these are not the same people like the sports players and whatever? It's not them. These are not the same actors. It is not them. Listen, I don't want to interrupt. I'll wait my turn. Go ahead and finish. Go
No,
ahead.
I wanted to play this because I wanted to not be the. I needed to play this
Remember,
because I didn't want to be the only one that laughed. Because when I heard this, I almost
you
fell out my chair. Hold on. Here,
I just muted my
here,
phone.
here, 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 your president. Here, your president. Hear your president. I want y'all to hear your president.
A president has the power to declassify. Correct. Okay. You have said on Truth Social a number of times you did declassify. I did declassify, yes. Okay. Is there a process? What was your process to declassify? There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. You know, there's different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it. And there doesn't have to be a process. There can be a process, but there doesn't have to be. You're the president. You make that decision. So when you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything. Now, I declassified things, and we were having a lot of problems with NARA. You know, NARA is a radical left group of people running that thing. And when you send documents over there, I would say there's a very good chance that a lot of those documents will never be seen again. There's also a lot of speculation because of what they did, the severity of the FBI coming and raiding Mar-a-Lago. Were they looking for the Hillary Clinton emails that were deleted, but they are around someplace? Were they looking for the spying on Trump's? You had it. No, they may be saying, they may have thought that it was.
I mean, like, really. The man says that he can just declassify. He can just think in his brains that they is declassified, and it is
But he can't
declassified.
hear us. But we're not supposed to hear him sniffling like he just fell in a vat of cocaine.
I just had to play it because I mean, how just so we if we have a person like this endorsing an individual as that, then what do you expect? The rhetoric is the same. The rhetoric is the same between the two of them. So I mean, like, are they fully? Are they in the sixth series? And back to my question with the series. Since they're saying melanated persons are in the sixth series, and I mean Caucasian persons are in the sixth series, and the melanated skin persons are in the nine series. What does that really tell us? Um, what is it saying? Really, what is it saying? Is it saying that melanated skin persons are the true and living? I mean, like, what is it saying? What does it really mean? Acid?
Oh, let me throw one more in. I really want to throw this in
Go
because I
ahead.
know we're getting ready to wrap up, but I just got to throw this in there. So Bishop Bling, who, we're not going to even say his name, the one who got robbed mid sermon for what was supposed to be about $1 million worth of jewels in New York. This week he went after some women. One of them was a prophetess who came to his church, and they were in there gathering information for her new book. And when he spotted them, he got quite upset and he called the prophetess up to the front. And when she got there, he went after her and tried to choke her. Well, maybe he did choke her and told his followers to put her out. And they called the police, and the police locked her up, but then they let her go. And then they locked him up, but then they let him go. So it makes no sense because, well, you want to talk about people that are supposed to be more closely aligned with peace and harmony and God's godlike activities. Raphael Warnock is more godlike to me, especially considering he's got, advanced degrees from several universities. But to think that Bishop Bling would come out of the pulpit to grab this woman and start choking her simply because
So
she
why
exposed
everything
what he was doing.
why everything that aliens do have to be negative? Can they not do something positive? Because
Like
everything that
what?
I hear that is talking about
What? But they're
persons
the
who saying
devil.
that
So how they
negative.
gonna do something positive and they're
Who
the
told you
devil?
that they're the devil?
No,
Why
no,
do
no,
they
no.
have to be the devil? Why do they
No,
have
they're
to be
not.
the
All
devil?
of them are not. Because when I was doing a real estate course, somebody kept telling me. He said, why you don't? He said, why you don't know that it's life on another planet? Okay, and he kept saying it to me. He kept stressing it. Okay, and he would say to me, "I'm not a nice person. It's just because I love you." So wow,
So
wow.
automatically when a person is not a nice person, that makes them into an alien because
No,
persons whom are normal human beings have good souls, are good persons. Is that what we're saying?
Um, I don't know.
well,
We
it's
have some
not.
walking dead in this on this earth. I mean, there's some
Yeah,
people they're doomed, and they've been doomed from they came on this earth, and it's just how it
yeah.
is. You have,
That,
you have people that have no soul, and they
mm-hmm.
existed in this world for centuries. They exist in this world.
Yeah,
Okay,
but then Queen, they call it
yeah,
because we're wrapping it up. They're calling it Donna is saying that when things happen, you're strange, you're this, and then most of the time when you're talking when we were reasoning, um it was stated where when organs are people are being killed and organs are being taken and people are taking over bodies and doing not nice things, it's always on the negative. So are we looking at everything that is negative is an out of body experience kind of thing, is an alien thing, or is there just bad people and good people in this world?
Yeah.
well, that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. Some people are here for certain reasons and certain purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are here just to cause chaos and to cause havoc on others, on the good. You see what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you see, there are distractions. We have all sorts of distractions around us, right? You have negative distractions and you have positive distractions. And the negative distractions, for some reason, it seems to outweigh the positive distraction. But it is how the I think it's from really creation. If we really want to go into then, this is stemming from centuries ago. Okay, and
Yeah.
from what my understanding is, there are some people that are dead. They came here dead. Okay, they have no
Mm-hmm.
soul. They have nothing inside of them. They're just dead, and they already are doomed. So it's like they don't care whatever they're doing. They're doing it for power and all of that. So I think that the negative is there, lady. I think it's been there for centuries, and what's happening now, it is outweighing the positive. You remember, you have positive and negative in everything. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And the negative right about now, because people are not really paying attention to what is going on around them. So they're just falling into the distractions, and all of these distractions are there to scare you from what is really in front of you
Yeah.
and what is facing you. That's the way I look at it.
You're
I might
absolutely
be
right.
wrong.
No, no, you're absolutely right. And because we're distracted by a lot of things, the real things that what's going on, we don't know of it. We're oblivious to it. So that's just that's why they create so much different attraction. Okay?
Mhm.
to have you in a funk. We're in a spell. We're under their spell.
You people,
So it's a fact. And
you people got my mind going left and right and all over the place. You all got me
yeah, and the
confused.
sound
But
yeah, and the sound technique is a technique that they use to treat the mentally disabled. This is why they know. Okay, so it relaxes you and things like that. So that's just what we're not. We're in an abnormal awakening state. It's like a spirit walking. So do you know? I mean, very few of us know. Like you, what you call it, the Matrix. Lady D. That
yeah,
this is what I'm telling you. It is something there in that. Um, they've been doing it for quite some time. This is before I was even born. Okay, I pointed out John F. Kennedy and how he addressed the Willowbrook psychiatric ward and how the patients were being kept and everything. And if you look at the statue after he was never assassinated. That was just a movie. If you look at the statue of John F. K. At John F. Kennedy at Grand Army Plaza, he has no body limbs. Okay, this is why would anybody even embrace that statue or not even comment about that?
it has
Okay,
what? It has what?
no, he has no limbs. He has no lower body, and he just had it's just his chest. He has no arms.
Because but isn't that called but isn't that called a bust? Something that they make, the sculptors make, and it's just half of the body. They don't give the entire body on the bust.
Well, no matter what it's called, it's something wherein that it's what it's showing is actually that he was dissected. And Papa Doc from Haiti, who he stopped when Kennedy stopped funding Haiti. He claimed that when Kennedy got assassinated, it was because of his voodoo. No, he graduated from the University of Chicago and specializes in dissecting. So
we're gonna.
I know where he is. You see, I know. I mean, I know that what I'm speaking of is a fact. Okay, if my issue is legacy related. Okay, so the thing is that all of these things that I speak of surround me. All right, so my family, like I said, they are pretty much of a wealthy family. This is why Queen Elizabeth is dead, and that's why I don't believe that she died. Okay, because it's a McQueen legacy. All right, so I can get into it, and I can go on and on and on and on and on, right? But I don't want to stray from what I'm speaking about as far as us being in an abnormal awakening state. Whatever, it's an invasion of aliens or whatever. Saturn came out. Everything, cars was related to Saturn. They sing about the halo, which is the rings of Saturn. They call themselves sky guards. That's why they build all of those skyscrapers. Some of the skyscrapers are leaning to the side already. If you look downtown Brooklyn,
I would think if they shift after all of these years, but we got to wrap it up, and we're gonna go back a little bit more because I'm totally confused because you know what? It's going from aliens to good and bad, and to aliens to good and bad. It's not. I mean, I'm just lost in the whole thing because I'm just like a straight person. Are we saying good is the bad is people taking over people? Because we're all over the place, and when we're all over the place, we sound like we don't know what we're talking about. It's foolishness what we're talking about. People will feel that, you know, with the way that because I'm listening to the conversation and I'm like, some of this make absolutely no sense, and maybe this is why God always said, "Lean not unto your own understanding," because it is crazy. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Mama Acid, take us out, and then next week we'll need to get back with some of these topics.
Okie dokie. So probably one thing we should all know is that this hurricane is tearing up the Caribbean. So if you have relatives in the Caribbean right now, please reach out to them and let them know you are concerned and ask them if they need help because this hurricane, Hurricane Fiona, is not a joke. Also,
Mhm.
another thing that we want to remind people is you really need to vote. So if you have not registered yet, please register and please vote. This is one of the most important elections coming up right now. And I just want to ask people, please think about your safety and think about your life in the future. Because if we don't vote, we don't know what's going to happen, but we know what could happen. The other one thing, okay, that I want to remind people about, there's a new uh, shot out there. And we have some people saying, please read all of the advice and the warnings before you consider it. And we want people to know that we have talked to people who have taken it and they say, no, no, no. So we're going to try and get an interview with one of them next week so we can discuss their after effects because quite frankly, it seems as though the experiment is ramping up. So I would just like to say for everyone, okay, we are all Nia Long. We've all been cheated on. We've all had people steal from us and treat us bad. But one thing we should all recognize is if something looks real or something looks fake. And I think that enough of the conversation tonight has given people a comparison so that they can recognize the two when seen side by side. Don't be afraid to check the comparison because if you don't, you may end up being a victim of the very same thing you don't understand. Don't trust it, test it.
All right. All
Amen.
righty. And yeah, and I want to encourage each and every one to go and research some of these videos here. The Uncle Phil, Amy Wax says the hidden DNA discovery only. The I don't know if you want to look at that, but what the also the um interview with Don Lemon, we want to check that out as well with what was said in regards to reparations and you know us and about melanated skinned persons may be the one whom really needs to pay reparations to the Caucasians. All righty. We didn't even get to touch on Dr. Oz, and but we'll touch on that another time. The we closed out the boy whom destroyed the mom's home, and Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. We closed that out as well. Um, uh, we I don't think for now we're gonna be closing out this alien thought that's going on. Because it is something that is getting so much attention right now, to be quite honest. I've been seeing a lot more videos that are coming up in regards to it, and I mean recent videos, not just but for me, I need a lot. I that's why I guess I will, continue to talk about it a little more, is because I do believe that there is another life form somewhere else. If they are here, I don't know. But if they are, then is these other person's really, really, really wicked the way that we are portraying them to be? That is it wicked people that are just here to get organs and kill people and experiment, or are some of them really good people that are here and living amongst us that are not looking to harm but just trying to live? And then we come to the differences of persons whom are just evil, period. Does it really have to be persons whom are extraterrestrial? Can't there just be evil people that kill persons and greedy people that kill people and take their organs and do whatever else? So I guess that is my issue with the entire thing, as far as when we're speaking of aliens versus people who are just mean, and the state of mind of these aliens. Are they here to kill and destroy? I mean, it's just, and then I'm listening to Donna, and I'm just like, I get confused with what Donna, Mama Acid, and Queen is saying. I'm like, okay, this is going like to the left, because I'm quite sure if I'm not grasping a lot, then a lot of persons are not grasping a lot either.
I
So,
have, I have, I have photos
so
that there's undeniable facts.
okay, so
Like I have photos of the bases. I have photos of all of the things that can back everything that I'm saying. It's no doubt.
right,
Okay,
and
this is something where in that they come in all sorts of forms. Some of them are cats, some of them are birds, some of them are squirrels. It's it's that's why they started
but my
saying that
my
the
my my
squirrels is
thing is not necessarily to say that there may not be, as I said before, um I
yeah,
think there is life somewhere else, because as I said a couple of weeks back, I strongly believe in God, but I know that what it says is that God found this earth. He created, he made he he worked for how many days, and on the Sabbath he rested, and when he looked at what he did, it was good. So where did he come from? Or he, or is it a he? Suppose it's a she. You know, there's so
mhm,
many different things. So on that aspect, I could flow with certain things. But when to flow and to say that it's all evil, I'm just like, okay, does it have to be all evil? Is it all evil? Are aliens now? Are we calling them the outcasts, the Satans? I mean, like, it's so many questions in regards to this thing here. It's a very, very deep topic.
right,
And let's
yeah,
look at the Clinton Presidential Advising Committee and the radiation. Let's look at the John F. Kennedy, as Donna was suggesting,
Willowbrook,
the
the Willowbrook
paperback.
developmental disability home, and
Okay,
John F.
those are
Kennedy,
some
Willowbrook.
why.
Those things, look it
And
up.
you all look it up and do
Like,
your own research and come back to us and
mhm,
let us know what you think about it.
mhm,
But I really encourage to watch that
so,
documentary on hidden
so,
DNA discovery only, with Dr. Edward Robinson and his brother, that are the ones that put this here. So let's take a look at that and see. So we're gonna have to wrap it up and just say thank each and
okay,
every one for joining in
mm,
with us, and we thank you.
mm,
And go look at the Woman King and see what's your thought on it. Is and
mhm,
find out for yourself what Lapita had to say in regards to that. And let's hear your comments about the Horace Chang shoot to kill saga there in Jamaica. And also, men, I think that everyone needs to keep their pants in their things in their pants. And what is good for the goose? Yes, it is good for the gander. And no, not all women base sex off of love. Sometimes it's just that sex. And we know as adults, if we're having unprotected sex, then therefore things can and will happen. So everyone just needs to respect the partner that they're with, and stick with that partner. So
And that's another thing I wanted to comment on about the sex as well as a part of the Project Monarch mind control, wherein that you have some men that they deliberately put women under the spell just so they can sleep with them and have them sleeping with women, and they don't know that that's not their husband.
Okay, well,
You have to
we'll continue
research that.
that. We'll
Yeah,
touch that next week.
yeah,
Because now we have to wrap it up because it's 10:16 in at
yeah.
night,
Okay
and I
then.
just want to thank you. So I'm gonna put that down.
Uh,
Women asleep and having sex. Okay, that's interesting. All righty.
Project
So
Monarch. Project Monarch. Okay.
it's
So
called Project
I
Who?
can't Project Monarch mind control, and then you're gonna I can't remember his name, but it'll lead you to it. But if I get his name, I'll text it to you, and then you can look it up directly.
All
And
righty,
how he
great.
used to put women under trance and
Okay.
sleep with them and they don't know that he's not their husband. This is okay.
This is crazy.
All right,
This
I'm
is
gonna
this
look
is
it up,
this is
and I'm
something
gonna
else.
his
But
name
love,
because
but love you all, and we just thank you all. Victorious 89.1 FM. We want to thank you for enlightening us with
yeah,
these conversations, and even having the gall to just air it. It's a big thing. Queen,
Yes,
you want to leave out real quick?
yes. Yes, I am just looking at things from a biblical perspective and knowing my Bible and what I've read in the Bible and not just the Bible but reasoning. I have Bible study twice a week and we discuss certain things
Yeah.
and my mind is open. My mind is open because I know there are things out there that we don't know.
Yeah.
Things out there that is happening that we see changing every day. Like I was talking about it today, where it's like
Okay.
my time is just zooming by. So
Yeah.
this is something that I really, really think that we need to go into further.
Okay, well, we
Just be
definitely
mindful.
definitely gonna
Just be mindful.
go
Yeah.
further. And what I would request is maybe that pastor that you're speaking of, turn down your
Yes.
background, whomever have their background. The pastor that you're speaking of, let's see if we can get him on the program to talk a little
Can
bit
get him on the
about
program. Yeah. That would
this.
be good.
All
Yeah.
righty. So love you all. Big up on yourself, and thank each and every one. Mama Acid,
Yes.
blessings to all your Tumblr followers and all of the truckers and all these things out there. We just want to thank them.
All of our truckers and all the people out west and all the people way over across the water.
All
We
right.
love you all and we
Yes.
thank you for your support.
And
Yes,
next
sir.
week we're
That
gonna
storm
even
is
next
coming. Be
next
prepared.
next week
Mhm.
we'll get on Mama Acid. Next week we'll get back on the Dr. Oz story. So I've got that lined up. So love you all. Be good. Queen, next week you if you could give the report on the Donna the
I sure will. I sure will.
the Donna Lee situation there. All righty. Bless up. Let not your heart be troubled. Just have faith, because faith as a mustard seed will get you through.
Ooh, yeah.
Love you all. Love you all. Good night. Good night.
Ooh, yeah.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Victorious 89.1 WAKT. Your unity in the community station.
Let not your heart be troubled. From you are faith within. Let not your heart be troubled.
Be sure to join us for the
He
Lady
will
D
bring-
show. The Lady D show Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
There are many mansions. If it was not so, I wouldn't have told you.
We have the artist determined. So keep it locked.
Long just hold on strong. More fire till the big man come. Let not your heart be troubled.